Nice suggestion. I like it. Definitely should be in a book. Thank you. As I said with the last speaker before the lunch break, so Karim Jabbari. How are you? It's okay. I'll introduce you while you're here. Karim Jabbari began his artistic journey at the tender age of 12. A difficult childhood was made easier through the power of calligraphy, allowing him to express what he could not do in words. Inspired by old Arabic scriptures and determined to establish a contemporary approach to calligraphy, he developed his own abstract typography using different patterns, shapes, and colors. Karim Jabbari is also considered as one of the most respected light calligraphy artists in the Arab world. The love of letters and art is the main source of inspiration for him, and that's what made him one of the most polyvalent artists. Calligraphy, painting, lightgraff, photography, and calligraphy clothing are Karim Jabbari's universe. He's here, so let's welcome again.
Thank you so much. Okay, great. I'm Karim Jabbari, and I'm really blessed to be here, and really want to thank the Nuqat team for bringing me this year with such talented artists in here. And seriously, you want me to talk about culture shock or shock? The biggest shock I have today is have to speak after Hala, who made such a beautiful presentation. And seriously, like, I have a lot to say, but I have a video to show you, and then please be patient. It's going to be a 7-minute video. It's about the last project I did in Tunisia. It's called Towards the Light. And Towards the Light, it is a verse from the poem by the known Tunisian artist Abu Qasim al-Shabi. He died at the age, I think, of 36 or 38. And this project, I tried to do it in my hometown, Qasreen. And then please enjoy it, and then I have a lot to say after the video. Thank you.
جاوب مريقل أو مش نعرف إذا فيش أعطيه لا يا ولدي أنا أعطيه قول له وش رأيك باللغة دي؟ أوه طيار مش فاهم وش هي اللغة؟ مش طيار تتبع بيك فيسبوك طيار. Et en fait, le truc c'était quoi? C'était que moi je suis originaire de la ville et ça serait plus crédible que ce soit toi, que ce soit moi. الخدمة هذه لازم نبقى كيف تشتغل معنا في البانتور، عندك كيف تلاقي بالماتريال، عندك كيف تلاقي بالسكيورتي. اوكي عايش
معناها واحد باقي في بلاصتو باش تجيه معناها فرصة معناها وباش يتحرك. لازم انت صاحبي تتحرك وتشوف حل حياتك. راي ما عادتش رانا صيي معناها وصلنا لوقت الشدة معناها صيي معناها بكل شيء. المهم انا انهض واسير في سبيل الحياة فمن دائما لم تنتظرها الحياة.
طبعا عزيز اللي الشيء صراحة المصريين في تونس الكل ديما يطيحوا لك في المورال تيجي باش يطلع منك ما يجي تشيت يمشي غادي يدري شنو. دونك اترافير الخدمه هذه كما سمعنا ايوب نحاول هكا حاجه صغيره هو اكسيون بسيطه اما نحاول كل واحد منا يحس اللي هو مهم. وقت الشيء هذاك ينمي فيه هو كعزيمه يخليه يحس بروحه عنصر فعال. هي راهي حاجه بسيطه اما والله الواقع نتاعها نفسي كبير برشا وديجا جربتها الكلمه اللي تطيح المورال بور دو بون واللاكت اللي يطلع المورال عنده افيه كبير ياسر. فوالا دونك انا حبيت جميزه على الخاصيه هذه في الشباب وما شاء الله عليهم والله يعطيهم الصحه. آخر بيت هي كذا صارك الله وزن الوجود وألقتك في الكون هذه الحياة فما لك ترضى بذل القيود وتحني لمن كبلوك الجبال. هذه قصيدة عظيمة لأبو قاسم الشابكي قصيدة بديناها من الأول وكمل أول بيت وكملناها آخر بيت.
الله يخلي عليك.
ربي يبارك فيك يا حاج.
كل شباب بلح.
جزاك الله خير.
الله يحفظكم ان شاء الله.
عايش.
قاصرين فما حاجة واحد يلزم يفهمها انه عندنا فولونتي وعندنا دي تالون ما همش موجودين لا في العاصمة ولا في الساحل ولا في حتى بلاصة. القاصرين والفقر أكبر مدرسة هما راه.
جينيرالمون معناتها يشوفوك تعمل جرافيتي ولا مغروم بحاجة كيما هكا يضحكوا عليك. أما تو معناتها الحمد لله فهمت اللي عندنا موتال عندنا عباد تفهم هنا في القاصرين. لا كولتور بوب هاك تشوف أنت جيت ممكن الحق كريم في بالك معناها القاصرين ما فيها حتى شيء. جيت هيك اللي شفتها القاصرين. موجود لا كولتور بوب ابار الجرافيتي موجود الدونس البريك دانس موجود كل شيء الراب دي جون اصل ولاد صغار يرابوا يعلم بينا كان ربي من الاخر بالحق عباد راهي بقلبه ورب وناس تحب وتعمل في كل شيء على جال باسيون لا اكثر لا اقل.
عجبتني برشا لكن باش نتخيل المونتاليتي تاع العباد هكا في القاصرين ولا بالحق تصدم.
والله لازم حتى ياخذ
شو انا يسحب توحير ياس انا ناس مش ناويه والله
صافي يسلكوا روحهم في المريخ. لا ان شاء الله نملوهم وجهه اخرى على القاصرين طول جمله ان شاء الله ان شاء الله.
جونا وحدنا بوكسرية نقسم بالله شيخين مرتاحين وصافا ولاباس ديما.
وقت نحن نقبلوا المفاهيم هذه ونعاودوا نعملوا مفاهيم جديده على الجدار بشباب اللي في يوم من الايام 14 شهر يطيح الجدار هذا اليوم جاء يزين الجدار هذا.
عندنا 17 ساعة أنا أكثر 18 ساعة وشوي أنا نحسب فيهم بالدقيقة والدرجة. السلام عليكم. نورمال لك تشوف. واحد يسوي يتعب
نمبر 1 يعني راك تكون انسان متفوق يعني الفرصه رايك تجيك تقبض عليها رجعني تفوت يعني محال تفرط في لحظه واحده من عمرك لازم تتعب تعمل طارق تتعمق لازم تتعلق يعني ديما في الطوب عقليه راي اون دي شور افكارك جايه للجور بيل جيت وايد شكور زيد شور رونالدو كيفاه روبرسا ولا شوف ميسي كيفاه ولا نمبر 1 في البارسا
جامي تكون عييت جامي تكون لاشي حاب تكون نمبر 1 جامي تكون مليت جامي تابوندوني حاب تولي نمبر 1 تولي نمبر 1
نمبر 1 يعني راهو انسان مشو فاشل يعني لي بروبليم كي تجي يقضي عليها في الوقت العاجل المشاكل لكن هاجل جامي تشوفوها منها بالعكس راهو يقدملها يقابلها.
Thank you so much. Well, this is for me culture shock. I moved my whole life from Canada and then brought my wife and kids back to Tunisia because the moment I did this project, I felt that I have a big role to play over there. I did this during last Ramadan and people, all these youth who worked with me kept telling me, when are you coming back? Is there something new we can do? I felt like I gave them a reason to live for. And that's it. I made the move to Tunisia, and then now I'm working on a bigger project. I want to make that city, which is Qasrin, which is my hometown. I want to make it the #1 destination of street art in the country. It was an idea that started with El Cid. He's my brother, my best friend. He's the one who showed me how to take my art to the next level. And due to him, due to Allah, and I'm able to do these things. And what I'm going to show you now, I'm going to talk, and then these are the pictures of us, you know, because we became like a family with this project. So what's funny is that when you go to Qasrin, it's a city that's really forgotten into Tunisia, and then it's a city where during the last 2 presidents, Bourguiba and Ben Ali, was, I don't know, like there was no employment, there was no investment, there's nothing. And then you see people complaining all the time, and they don't have the chance to take their lives in hands. They're always waiting for someone to come and change their lives or to bring them something. And during the last revolutions, I think the main event happened on that city. And probably something I didn't say in the video is that wall is the wall of the prison, of the local prison. And that local prison was broken during the revolution, and then there was like a big escape. Most of the prisoners escaped that prison. And then that helped take the revolution or the uprisings to the next level, and then things became very serious and spread to the rest of Tunisia. And it's a very symbolic place for me to go and paint there. But at the same time, it's really shocking. You know, but when I started the project, I started working, and then people would pass and say, "What is that? Like, are you doing a daycare or something in here? You know, the money, you invested somewhere else other than like painting walls and stuff like this." These same people, after a month of work, that wall became like a playground. It became the place where everybody would come and chill, hang out during the night. You've seen some pictures where we have chairs, because we were taking chairs from the coffee on the opposite side of the street and then put it beside the wall. And that shot on the video was like, and something nice I did is I gathered all the people working with me, and then I told them, look, I have a surprise for you. It wasn't money, it wasn't nothing. I brought someone specialized in human development. And it was a very nice surprise for them, because, I don't know, they were so attentive to listen to him. Seriously, you feel that there's a lot of talent in here. And they said it themselves. There's a lot of talent, and you have to go and look for it. But I think when you do it through art, it's very difficult in the beginning. Because, as I said, it's not a priority for them. Priority for them is like employment, education, healthcare, and stuff like this. But alhamdulillah, I was able to do something. There's this guy who was very funny, because during the night, you know, all these people, they go and drink like in some hidden places. And then we work late during the night, so they come, they stop their cars and they come, you know, you hear all types of. One of them, he brought me and he said, "Can you write something on my car?" I said, "Yes." He said, "Write a victim," you know, ضحية. And there's this guy, he was looking at the wall and he said, "Man, that wall is so beautiful. I think I'm going to do a crime." It's worth it, like, to go inside now. So, yes, after this project, with the same group, we worked on another event. It was last month. We worked on an event called Slam Fusion, which is, we brought someone specialized in poetry and slam and hip hop and everything. And then I asked the guys, "Are you comfortable with writing?" They said, most of them, they said, "We never wrote anything, you know, except in school and stuff like this, but we are willing to be part of this event." They did that event, and we went to the city of Qasrin, and then we went to the city of Sidi Bouzid, which is 60 kilometers away. And 3 days of workshops, and we took him to the capital, to Tunisia, to a very, very respected theater called El Teatro. And there was a lot of media, a lot of people attended, because it was Qasrin and Sidi Bouzid, you know, where everything started. But believe me, most of the people who attended were crying at the end, because they saw something impossible to realize in 3 days. They saw talent. These guys were working day and night. They would call me like at 1 in the morning. Can you please read my text? Is it nice? What do you advise me to change? Can I change these words and everything? So it's like a continuity for me. I want to create a continuity for them, because the moment you leave them, they will come back playing cards, sitting on cafes, doing nothing, saying, well, there's nothing happening. Why did the government didn't do anything to us? And I worked hard since that moment just before this, I want to say, like, during the work on the wall, we were doing these beautiful light calligraphies, because one night we'd work at the wall, the other night I would take them in that pickup where we were like riding. We would go to the mountain, and then there's an old amphitheater where we can do these beautiful light calligraphies, and then we were having fun. It was like, I think, 1 in the morning at this time. And it's really nice. There was like deep bonds that were created between us, and then we trust each other, and that's it. After this, I was able to go forward and then try to create this project, which I called Streets, Shawara. And Streets basically is inviting artists and through performances, workshops, I'll be able to create a movement in that city where a lot of media will be present, so this will be very mediatized, and then people would hear about it. People would hear about this city. Probably next year it will be bigger. I don't know, we never know, but I'm trying to do an effort for that. While there's something I want to tell you about, because of these youth, the way we grew up in Tunisia, and I think in most of the Arab countries, as young, no one give you your real value. Everybody would, switch you down. Come on, man, what are you going to do once you grow up? Like, what are you going to do? Huh? So it's changing nowadays, but the way we were raised, it's the way we were raised. The whole society is not pushing you forward, it's like lowering you down. So I think by simple words, because this is what happened to me, I really am in love with calligraphy, and I started this discipline at the age of 12. And at this period, my father was in prison because whatever, he was a political opponent at the time of Ben Ali. And we were really isolated from society. And then I would walk in the streets, and people would walk beside me, and then they are our friends. And they are so afraid to talk to you that they were turn their faces to the other direction. And seriously, I went to a school. I was a little bit bright, in school. So I went to a school for elite, and I learned calligraphy. I was 12 at that period. And calligraphy, I brought people around me. Like my friends would say, yeah, Karim has a nice writing. Come on, let's see him in action. They bring their, their notes and whatever, and they want me to write their names, the names of their girlfriends or anything. So, and that brought people around me. And seriously, I felt like I have a life. And I'm really very thankful for this calligraphy. This is why later in my life, when I moved to Montreal, I have seen all these youth really away from their identity. I talked about this yesterday in the presentation, but since I'm in love to this calligraphy, and I owe calligraphy a lot, so I wanted to give back a little bit to it. So I was focusing on two typographies, or two styles of calligraphy, which are the oldest ones, the Kufi and the Maghribi, because few of the calligraphers use them, and I really love these types, and I developed them and added some urban elements. I added some calligraphy elements. I use them even in light calligraphy, because in light calligraphy I'll explain the principle for you. It's very simple. So this would be the subject of the workshops, but just to explain to you how hard it is, you have the camera in front of you, and then you set the shutter speed to a long exposure, let's say 30 seconds. You put the ISO down to 100, and then you have a source of light. Let's say, I'm going to take this projector from there, and you go to a dark place, you press the shutter, And then once you press the shutter, you have 30 seconds to play with the light, and every move you make will be memorized into the picture. So this is basically the principle of the light calligraphy. So when you're writing Arabic, it's very hard because you have to write from left to right, right? So, and you don't see what you're writing. You don't have you're writing in space. And basically, if you're writing a ba, you have no idea where to put the point. Is it here? Is it here? So this is, you need a lot of concentration. And I'm in the stage where I'm able to write in Kufi or Maghribi with the light, right? It needs a lot of practice, but it's the stage where I am, and I really love it. So I'm using these types because I want the youth to love the Arabic language. By loving the Arabic language, they will go and dig a little bit into their history, into the past. I always try to do art with the meaning, like this poem I wrote on the wall. It starts like saying, it starts by saying, خلقت طليقا كطيف النسيم وحرا كنور الضحى في سماه تغرد كالطير أين اندفعت وتشدو بما شاء وحي الإله. So the first part of the poem, basically Abu al-Qasim Shabi was explaining how to enjoy life and how there's a lot more in this life than money and than material things. But suddenly, so you see the first part of the wall is, it's going beautifully. There's colors and there's ilanur and stuff like this. There's this kufi, geometric kufi. And then all of a sudden he says, فَمَا لَكَ تَرْضَى بِذُلِّ الْقُيُودِ. It's a sudden change in the meaning and a sudden change in the wall. I made it. فَمَا لَكَ تَرْضَى بِذُلِّ الْقُيُودِ وَتَحْنِي لِمَنْ كَبَّلُوكَ الْجِبَاهِ. And thank you so much. Thank you so much. And it was very challenging for me because I was making the wall, and then I didn't write the meaning because it's really hard, like Elside's work. It's really hard to read what I'm doing. So people would ask me, what is that? What are you writing? And everything. I said, please wait till the end. So I want to just create this attachment because people during the month of Ramadan would come, and believe me, like they would come families and walk beside the wall and just enjoy the wall. So I came with a small Maghribi style and a Kufi style, and I wrote the poem in a way that you can read it easily. And people would enjoy it more because they would come and understand the meaning of what I was writing. So just coming back to the sudden change in the poem, the basic verse in the poem, I made it in the center of the wall in a style that I call like the cloud style. I mean the cloud style, when you're sitting and then enjoying the clouds and then guessing the shapes. What is that? It looks like, I don't know, like so this is the same thing I did. And the verse says, أَلَنْهَضْ وَسِرْ فِي سَبِيلِ الْحَيَاةِ فَمَنْ نَامَ لَمْ تَنْتَظِرُ الْحَيَاةِ. So by writing this I wrote it in a difficult way, so you have to go and guess. You have to make an effort. Probably you can bring a chair and sit there for hours, and then guessing the alif, this is the alif, this is the fa, and then because the letter were hitting into shapes and stuff like this, and I made it in the center of the wall. And seriously, when you follow the work, it's very hard to achieve such a long wall. It's 240 meters, and then for it to be one artwork, you need it to be cohesive. So there's the passage between a piece to another. It needs to be cohesive. You don't feel like it's a sudden change. It was very challenging, but alhamdulillah, I was able to do it after a month. Actually, I wrote a month, but it's I think a month and 10 days, something like this. These are the people you see in pictures. These are the people who were living with me for the whole month. Every day they would come. This guy would come and help me remove the tape. It was like every day from 8 in the morning until whatever. Like it doesn't even go to his home like to eat or anything. So he eats there with us. It was a family experience. It was very nice, and I felt that my art has a meaning. I don't know. It doesn't apply to everyone. This is who I am. I don't know. Probably this is the way I work. I want to create this type of project where people will be touched by art, not only I don't feel comfortable going to such places where people would come and walk, I don't know, probably into exhibitions or some stuff like this, and then like act like they see your artworks, and then, yeah, it's really nice, and then come and, because it's a social rank or some stuff like this. I'm not really comfortable. I'm comfortable to work with people who are really interested into my art. Like during the workshops, you will see it's gonna be very, very nice. I'll do a little promotion for my workshops. It's going to be the first one is going to be a calligraphy workshop. The second one, the basics of light calligraphy. And the third one would be a tour. We will go in a bus tour in Kuwait. We will visit the main attractions and then combine the calligraphy and the techniques of light calligraphy we have learned during the first sessions. We will be able to create some beautiful artworks of light calligraphy. This is it. This is the shock. This is what I did lately, and inshallah, December 15th till December 20th will be the streets event in Qasreen in Tunisia. Everybody was shocked in Tunisia. Qasreen? What are you doing it in Qasreen? What do you do it in Tunis, Hammamat, you know, the touristic places and everything? Qasreen is not safe. There is terrorism, you know? And, you know, you try to explain for them that this is a way to decentralize art. Art was always, you know, it was for such type of people in such places, and this is my own way to decentralize art. I brought artists from abroad. The narcissist will be here. Fawzi, I'm trying with Fawzi. Please, Fawzi. Please, would you come? He was so busy, he won't come probably, but a lot of people will come to the event. Omar Effendim, Sundus Abdel Hadi. And I want to create this continuity, inshallah. Please make dua for me to be successful in this one, and I hope you enjoyed the lecture. Thank you so much.